Today we're making old-fashioned buttermilk pie. It is a tart, sweet custard pie filling that's baked inside flaky, buttery pie crust. And then you can serve it chilled, or you can serve it room temperature, maybe with a little clotted cream, or even with some creme fraiche whipped cream. It would be delightful with berries, or all on its own. Let's get into it. So, buttermilk pie, super easy. I have myself here a par-baked pie crust that is beautifully golden brown on the bottom. And I used my all butter pie crust that's up there. It is not docked because it's gonna be kind of liquidy, so we don't want those juices flowing through and then baking into the pie dish or running into our oven. So, we are going to whisk everything together and go ahead and start with my eggs. And now we're gonna add our sugar. Before this gets a little too liquidy, we're gonna go ahead and add our flour. You could go ahead, you could put that in with your sugar if you want. We're just trying to avoid getting any kind of lumps or clumps of butter in our mixture here. This is obviously, the flour is going to help thicken the pie in addition to the eggs. It's not going to boil, so it's more so it's just going to kind of absorb some of that moisture that would otherwise just be free-flowing. All right, so let's go ahead and add, we've got a bit of water. We've got some vanilla extract and lemon juice. Yum. Butter that has been melted. Make sure it's not too hot. Obviously, you are pouring it into your eggs and you don't want to have any sort of situation. Okay. And just make sure that's all nice and combined before we add our buttermilk, just in an excess of caution. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my buttermilk. Now, this is whole fat buttermilk, which is just a whole lot thicker than low fat. I find it makes a nice, rich buttermilk pie. If you can't find it, then that is totally fine, and you can use low fat as you wish. You might want to, if you are using low fat, you might want to omit that water that we added. This is my rich and decadent mixture here. You can see why we might not want to dock our pie crust. Now, I have preheated my oven to 350 degrees, theoretically. It's almost there. You could do convection or non-convection. I think that non-convection is best. It's going to brown on the top, but convection is going to kind of brown it a little bit more. It is going to bake, 45 minutes or so. We are looking for it to be kind of set, almost like Jell-O or a cheesecake. This is a baked custard, so we are looking for that kind of, the eggs to have set, and you want to cook it gently, and it's going to take a little bit of time. So we've got our par-baked crust here. It can still be warm, that's fine, like if you've just done it. And then we're going to pour this all in carefully. Oh, there she is, just in time. Beautiful. Now I'm just going to kind of get some of those bigger bubbles that I've got there. We can also tap our crust to try and kind of release some of that. It's not really the end of the world. I just, the big ones you're going to see on the top, and I don't really want to see them. So here we are. It's just me being me. Okay. Now we're going to take this and we're going to put it in our preheated oven. I'm going to put it on a baking sheet to make it a little easier to transfer. And then we're going to check it, every 15 minutes and see what she's doing. Give her a twirl and let her bake evenly. Right, our pie is out. It's cooled about 30 minutes, so it's already kind of settled back down, but it had kind of puffed up. And when you shook it gently, it kind of moved like Jell-O or cheesecake, it has that like wiggle rather than like a loosey-goosey kind of movement. And so you can also test it with a cake tester or with a knife, and it should come out clean. So we're just gonna let it cool completely, set like several hours before we cut it. It's time to try. I'm stoked. super ready. It is cold. I've actually chilled it a bit. You can cut it while it's room temperature. I find that it cuts best when it's cold, but you can serve it either cold or room temperature. Totally up to your personal preference. You do you. I'm just gonna dig in. Sure am. Oh my goodness, this flaky crust that we've made. Wow. Just pat ourselves on the back for that one. You want to make sure you get all the way through. You don't want to leave any bits behind. That's when you get a sad piece of pie. Now, hopefully this guy just pops right out like a little sticks anywhere. Okay, I feel like feeling good. Ta-da! Look at him. Picture perfect. He's like, I'm ready for my close-up. Yeah, look at that. What a nice custard. Now you could top this with some whipped cream if you want. Traditionally it's not topped with anything. You could dust it with powdered sugar. Totally up to you. All right, I mean, I could actually just pick it up and be like, I don't think that's very graceful though. Today we're gonna be ladylike for the cameras. All right, here we go. What? Yum. You got that flaky crust on the bottom, and then that like soft, rich custard in between that's like a little bit sweet, but you still get like that tang from the buttermilk. It doesn't taste like you're eating buttermilk because that's gross. It more tastes just like a sweet, slightly tangy, tart pie. It's just like very interesting and intriguing.